Happy Families podcast. It's the podcast for the time-poor parent who just wants answers now.
You were just so mature beyond your years. You floored me with your ability to do things and to learn quickly, and you were just such a responsible child.
And now here's the stars of our show, my mum and dad.
Every now and again we do a podcast that I get so excited about, and today is the day. Because I don't have to say very much at all. It's all on...
That's unusual.
It's all on you. Well, actually, it's not. We've got a special guest. Mother's Day. Oh, hang on. I'm Dr. Justin Coulson. Always forget. I get excited about this stuff and I forget. I'm Dr. Justin Coulson. I've written a bunch of books about making your family happy, and you are my wife,
Kylie.
With the mum of our six daughters. And we are talking to your mum because Mother's Day this weekend, and we thought, how fun would it be to introduce Kylie's mum to everyone who listens to the podcast?
Oh, I'm feeling a bit nervous. I think I'm going to be in the hot seat somehow.
I'm really excited for this. I've got some curly questions that I want to ask your mum about you growing up. Natasha, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
You sound nervous.
I'm smiling.
I know we can't see you, but I get the sense that it's a nervous smile. Hey, let's just start with a brief intro. So you and Les have been married for
43 years.
Wow.
That's only 20 more than us.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you've got 3 daughters.
Yes. My husband has a daughter to a previous marriage, Lisa, but she's very much one of our own.
Yeah, we love Lisa. She's good value.
Yeah, she is.
Okay, so mum of 3 daughters, 4 if you include Lisa, which we should. Let's talk about Kylie, because really that's all I am really interested in, what it was like to raise Kylie. How awesome was she?
Kylie was an awesome child. She was very, very gifted and just a delight, actually. Kylie was my love child. It's the only way I can describe Kylie. And she fulfilled all of the dreams that I had of becoming a mother for the first time.
Oh, that is, like, I'm genuinely sitting here getting all weepy because you've said that. And when you say love child, I mean, I don't want to dive too deep here, but do you mean in every sense of the word, or do you just mean that you fell in love with your child because she was your child?
In every sense of the word.
Well, we might have to have a conversation about that a little later around the dining table, but I've heard a couple of stories that I want to get the dirt on. I want to get the reality on here. Kylie today is just an incredible cook, but from what I understand, she almost sent you and Les to hospital after one particular meal that she cooked as a teen. Can you shed some light on that?
Oh, not me, because I don't think I partook very much because I don't like hot food. But Kylie and her very good friend decided that they would come home and cook dinner for us one night. And we had a friend of Kylie's and also a very, very dear young man to us, Leith. He came for dinner. He was the special guest of the evening. And she cooked a Thai curry. I believe, Kylie, it was a green Thai curry.
It was green Thai curry. We'd never had Thai curry in our lives.
And anyway, she cooked up this meal that absolutely smelled beautiful. And we're sitting at the table and Leith is eating it. And he's eating it, and I swear I thought his face was going to catch on fire. It just turned so red. And he was just like shaking himself, and it was just the funniest thing, but not really funny.
I think he drank 2 litres of water that night at the dinner table. The veins in his neck were about to pop. But unlike everyone else at the dinner table, at least he ate it. I was so impressed.
So, Natasha, you didn't eat any?
I don't believe I did because I don't like hot food anyway. But I think Kylie's mishap occurred because she had to extend the recipe. And so she added about 3 times. I don't know how much extra she added.
We tripled the recipe. And on the jar, it says for each 500 grams of chicken you put in, you were to put 1/3 of the jar. So I had 1.5 kilos of chicken, and I just thought, well, 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 equals a whole jar. I'm good at maths.
It seems like a lot of curry to me.
Well, now that I eat Thai curry, I think it is a lot of curry too. But the jar said to add 1/3, so I followed instructions.
I love this conversation, though. I love listening to the way that you talk about Kylie and Natasha. She's just the most wonderful wife and mum. To me, it's a great tribute to you in the daughter that you raised. I wonder.
I've been a most wonderful daughter.
Yeah, I think that you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who would disagree. Mind you, I think the 6 that I'm raising are doing okay. I think that they're going to do okay. My question for you, though, is, before we take a quick break, for you to raise a daughter like that, there must have been some important things that you learned from your mum or maternal figures in your life. And with Mother's Day just around the corner, I wonder if there's anything that you would say about that.
From my own mother, I wasn't raised by my mum. I was raised by my grandmother. But from my own mother, I learned my mum just had the most pure heart. She loved unconditionally, and she was a peacemaker. My mum never created waves, and obviously with not being able to spend time with her or her raising us as her children, me and my siblings, that was a bit of a challenge. But the legacy that my mother left me was to love everybody and to be a peacemaker and, just be a good person. From my grandmother, I learnt the ethics of hard work, and Kylie is the epitome of hard, diligent work.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Thanks for sharing that. We're going to come right back after the break, and Kylie's got a few questions for you as well. We'll do that in just a sec because, well, I think that we're going to get into some nitty-gritty about what it was like to be Kylie's mum.
It's the Happy Families Podcast.
For a happier family, try a Happy Families membership, because a happy family doesn't just happen. Details at happyfamilies.com.au.
It's the Happy Families Podcast, the podcast for the time-poor parent who just wants answers now. And today we have a very special guest. We have my mum.
This has been so enlightening already. Kylie, you've got a list of questions that you want to ask your mum. And Natasha, this is the Happy Families Podcast, so you've got to tell the truth. That you can't lie about this.
So, Mum, what's your favourite memory of me growing up? Or what's a quirky memory about
All
me?
of them. I would imagine all of them are going to be your mum's favourite memories. And your 2 sisters?
I'm sure you've got a really nice story to tell everyone.
My favourite memory of you as a child. It's not a quirky and it's not even really funny, but it was your ability. You were just so mature beyond your years. You floored me with your ability to do things and to learn quickly, and you were just such a responsible child. You were more serious, perhaps, than your sisters, but my favourite memory of you is your capability and your sense of responsibility. I know that's not funny, but it's real and it's true.
I've got this feeling that if we ask my mum that question, she's not going to answer that way.
About me or you?
About me. I don't think she'll say anything like that about me.
They say
at all.
opposites attract, honey.
Yeah,
it's all
okay.
good. I got the good stuff.
You did.
So, Mum, you kind of answered my second question because it was, is there a trait that you saw in me that kind of was a precursor for who I am today? And you've really kind of touched on that. So
I'm going to jump in and ask, did you think that Kylie would turn out as well as she's turned out?
She has turned out more than I expected she would turn out to be. She just was an exceptional child in terms of her sense of responsibility, her maturity, and her ability to take care of her siblings. Obviously, I was at work and she would take care of her siblings, and I always knew that I could trust her. And nothing has changed.
Yeah, that's so good. I still don't see how you ever saw anything in me, hun, but I'm so glad that you did. What else?
Well, the next question actually relates to you.
Oh, no.
Mum, why don't you tell everyone, what were your first impressions of Justin? Was he good enough for me?
I can't answer that because
Hang on. Hey, I don't know if I want you to. I think we should just stop this part of the conversation right now.
Well, if you remember, the very, very first time we met you was when Justin came to see you at Uncle Kevin's house.
Yes.
So we didn't get to see much of Justin. I think We might even have spoken to him outside the door. I don't even know that he came into the house.
You did. You came out and you laid down the law about if you're going to take our daughter out, you need to make sure that you are respectful and you treat her well.
Home by midnight.
She's going to be home by midnight. And if I recall, I had Kylie home at about 2 minutes to midnight, and then we sat on the front step for another hour and a half until 1:30 in the morning.
And my uncle locked the door on me because we didn't come inside.
Okay, well, that was part of the first impression. The other part was he was such a super confident young man. I was just like blown away. Very different to your mother and father. And he just had I don't know that it was a nervous energy, but there was an energy about him. It was very easy to tell that he was a person that was wanting to be moving. But from the conversation with him also, we sensed a very intelligent young man.
Wow. I don't know how I did that, but I'll take it. I do remember that the first time I called you, and I didn't know you at all, you answered the phone. I wasn't calling you, I was calling Kylie, but it was back in the olden days where I had to call a landline, and you answered the phone and you said, "Hello, this is Natasha speaking." And I said, "Oh, hi, Natasha, this is Justin Coulson," which was obviously that confidence coming out. And you were floored that I wasn't calling you Mrs. Jones. You were like, "Hang on a second, there's supposed to be some deference here, some respect." And I believe that I didn't make a good impression on that phone call.
I believe you might be correct, but that's a custom, that's a cultural thing. The way that I was raised was very, very different. And I think I was going to make the comment about you coming from a very different world from the world that I came from and the way that I raised my children. So there was lots of education to come in the years ahead.
Well, Mum, what do you miss, if anything, about being a mum with little ones?
I miss having my children near me, around me all the time. I really miss that.
Yeah, those morning huggies that we get from our kids.
Yep,
one day we won't get them, and I'm really sad about that already. We
bought a king-size bed so we could have morning cuddles with our children. I really
and
miss
it was
that.
A water bed back then.
It was a bed.
How many pins did you put in that bed, Mum?
Too many.
That was back in the day when we used cloth nappies, and Mum would take the pin off the baby's nappy and she would stab the bed so she didn't lose it, and we'd spring a leak.
Really?
My dad had to patch that bed up I don't know how many times.
I'm guessing a Band-Aid wouldn't fix that.
Oh.
We should explain the reason I was changing the nappies in the bed was because I had difficulty getting out of the bed.
So, Mum, what do you know now that you wished you knew back then?
I wished that I had known that it's okay for children to be children and to play and to absolutely learn how to love life. I wasn't raised that way, and I didn't actually know how to do that.
That's beautiful.
I think that lesson, though, in spite of the struggles that you had, I think that inadvertently you actually helped me to come to that realization in our family, and it's been such a blessing for us. And one of the things that I love about, I guess, family life and the progression is just that we actually are able to take the lessons that we've learned from the previous generation and be better. And, you know, I know that we've had conversations in the past where you hope that your children will do better than you did. And that is Justin and my hope as well, that our children will be better than us. And so that's been such a great blessing for me to kind of be able to move into that space and recognise that our children need to have an opportunity to just be children.
Yeah, and I love watching the way you and Justin interact with the girls and making special time for them, special outings, special memories that will last beyond many, many things that they'll experience in their lives. It'll be those cherished memories that you've created for them by spending time with them.
So an obvious question. I know what the answer will be, but I want to hear you say it. Are you proud of Kylie?
I'm humbled and proud and grateful for my beautiful daughter.
Thanks, Mum. Another tricky question. What was one of the hardest things that you had to learn as a mum?
Okay, I know this is supposed to be fun and light, and I'm going to try and answer that in that way. But one of the hardest things for me to learn as a mum was that it's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to get things wrong, and it's okay to learn from those mistakes and to move on from that. But that was a lesson that came quite late in life for me.
I love the answer, that answer, Mum, because one of the things that I love about you, and the thing that I think that I took away from my growing up experience, was watching you strive for betterment and never giving up. You never let the challenges in your life determine how you would be. You just continued to battle and to fight for what you wanted, and that has been a legacy that you have passed on to me, and something that I'm so grateful for in my life.
In that vein, let me ask you, Kylie. We're talking to your mum because it's Mother's Day on Sunday. What are you most proud of when it comes to your mum?
My mum had a really, really challenging upbringing. She had a really hard childhood, and for so many of us, it can be really, really easy to use that as an excuse for the way we choose to live our lives. But my mum never used it as an excuse, and I was so grateful that she fought for the happy family that she always hoped that she could have. And that came at huge cost and huge effort. But I'm so grateful that she didn't just accept her lot, but she fought for what we now have as a family.
It's a beautiful tribute. Thanks for sharing that. Hey, Natasha, it's been so good of you to join us on the podcast. So grateful that you took the time to share your insights and share some fun stories about Kylie and what it was like to be her mum. Thanks for being a part of what we do.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for raising her so that I could take her away from you forever.
I love you, my daughter.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you loved me, but no, you redirected straight back to Kylie.
You, but I love my daughter more.
Yeah, favoritism. All right. We really hope that you enjoyed the podcast today. Something a little bit different, an opportunity to get to know Kylie's mum. I think we should have her back on the podcast, huh? That was fun.
I think she'll be sweating.
The nervous energy is going to keep on going. So tomorrow, I'm really excited for tomorrow. We're going to talk to an author of a book called The Gift of Failure. It's Jessica Lay. She's dialing in from overseas, from the United States, and we're going to talk to her about The Gift of Failure, her book. And then on Thursday, the roles are reversed. We've got my mum. In the lead up to Mother's Day, we're going to talk to Mum about what it was.
I got some dirt on you.
What it was like to raise me. So please join us over the next couple of days for what should be a couple of absolutely bumper podcast episodes. Thank you so much, by the way, for being a part of the podcast and for listening. We hope that it makes your family happier. If it does, jump onto Apple Podcasts and leave a 5-star rating and review so that other people can find out about it and make their families happy too. The Happy Families podcast, as always, produced by Justin Rulon from Bridge Media. Our executive producer is Craig Bruce. If you'd like more info about how to make your family happier, you can find everything you need at happyfamilies.com.au.